Hey guys, Jonas here. Today I'm going to show you one way to do this. Driving time lapses are pretty cool and they work really well when telling like a road trip story. I know a lot of you guys are doing traveling videos and this could be kind of a fun technique to play around with. Okay, so there are multiple ways you can do a driving time lapse. You can shoot from the inside of the car, you can shoot from the outside of the car, but there are a few things to think about and I want to show you my kind of dodgy setup that I just did. I ended up getting one of these wooden beams, pretty sturdy. I ended up getting the sturdiest one I could find that also kind of worked with my my car. And this is the big one. This is what's called a ram mount. It's basically a heavy duty sturdy mount and I can twist it and turn it the way I want it, and I've screwed it to the bottom of this wooden bar here. Then I plugged in the remote control. I put the remote control on top of the wooden beam here and I strapped it down to make sure it didn't flop around. Same thing with any loose threads or cords or whatever. Make sure you strap them down so that they don't move around and hit the camera or something else. So the main reason why I went for this setup is that I wanted to use my digital SLR camera because I can change the aperture and the shutter speed and the ISO and, you know, manually set everything. And I wanted to have a little bit of motion blur to the images, so I decided to go with a shutter speed of between 1/15th and 1/30th of a second. I didn't want to go and make it too long because I knew that there would be a little bit of movement of the whole setup, and you know, the longer the shutter speed you have, the more of this you will probably pick up. And I also knew that I was going to be driving pretty fast, so 1/15th of a second would still create a pretty good motion blur. Halfway through I spun this around and I pointed the camera back at me, but at night this is going to be pretty dark, so I turned on the light inside of the car and actually had an external small light as well to light up the side of my face. And I think that is pretty necessary if you're going to be filming back at yourself. You need to have some kind of a light inside the car or you won't see anything. A few things to point out though. If you shoot in the daytime, you will definitely have shadows from this thing sticking out. This is what it looked like when I tested it out. And also, if you're shooting on a wet day, you might have a lot of crap hitting the camera. After I was done, I did all of the post work on my pictures in first Adobe Lightroom and then Adobe After Effects, like Rob and I kind of always do with our time lapses. In short, what I did, I named all of the clips first in sequence, brought them into Lightroom, and then I picked one photo right in the middle of my sequence and I worked that up the way I want it to look like. So I brightened up the image a little bit, I saturated it, and I also thought it was a little bit too yellow, so I dropped the color temperature a little bit. And then I synced the changes that I made to that photograph to all of the other photographs in the folder that I had. After that, I exported JPEGs and put them in a separate folder. Open up that folder in After Effects, resized the image to fit the composition, and then exported my video clip. I actually export just like Rob in H.264. It works really well with what I'm going to use this video for. And then just bring it into your video editing program just like normal and do your editing. We have a whole lot of videos on time lapses, so if you're interested in this stuff, make sure you check those out, and we actually have a lot more coming as well. So stay with us on this channel, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, give us some comments and let us know what you think. And thanks for watching. See you next week.